Moss for this to get this match underway. Lost the cue ball a little bit, but he's made the wing ball.
And it's been a pretty common theme, not only making the wing ball from that left side rail, the player's left side rail, but also losing the cue ball down to the bottom end here. Something the guys will want to fix, and fix quickly.
Now, Jeremy, I remember in earlier tournaments this year, players were making the one ball and the wing ball on almost every break. What's different this time?
Well, you'll see that's probably why they're losing the one a little bit. A slight cut on the one. You don't put as much force into the one, so it'll usually ricochet off the rest of the rack past the side, and they're trying to gain shape on the one for that upper right corner. I think a smart rollout here. You can't leave anything easy as far as a makeable offensive shot. He's got both sides of the one here. So would you ever just cut the one and just try to lay the cue ball behind the 5 and the 3? Just very simply, I guess you're going to leave a pretty easy jump shot.
I don't mind having a go at the pot.
I don't either. I wouldn't play the soft speed trying to get a backdoor safety, though. I'd go ahead and come down between the 6 and 2.
I don't blame Szolnoki there for having a go. He's having a pretty consistent time on tour of late. Seems to be always in the business end, JJ.
Yeah, he certainly could have made a little deeper run in the World Pool Championships, if I remember correctly, losing a hill-hill match late in the event. Heibler, our first look at him, and as a player who's been around a long time. He had a little hiatus, it seems like, for 3 or 4 years, and now back on the scene.
Everyone kind of had a little hiatus for a couple of years there.
Yeah. Mine, even before pandemic, though, I didn't see him play as much. Back in the late 2000s, early 2000 teens, so a bit mistake here with the cue ball. And these players that haven't played a lot on the slick table, they have to realize you have to give the draw time to work. If you get at it quick and short, it's just not going to grab. And we've seen a lot of kind of, I wouldn't say silly, but inexcusable almost scratches at times and missed position.
Extension, please.
Now this is delicate, that's for sure. Like to go at the bank trying to hold short side on the 5, but and he's got to be very convinced of the path of the cue ball for that shot, because there were a lot of gaps, Carl.
Yeah, 2 poor shots there from the Czech team. That's always going to just unsettle you, and that's what makes the pressure intensify as the match goes on. You feel like you've had your opportunities. We're back at the table quicker than probably what they thought it was going to be.
I really think that Szolnoki be a perfect kind of partner to play doubles with. Very tidy with the cue ball. Much more of a shot maker than he may, show you at times, but just a very smart, calm player at a very young age. He's got to pay attention. He doesn't want to land on the rail with the cue ball. That's really the only way they could have serious problems. This will do.
I always feel like this type of shot is always a hair thinner when you're in Szolnoki's position, as opposed to the TV cameras that are telling you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, caught it a hair thick to the pocket, so it cost him a little cue ball travel. Well, that's a good sign there early for Foldis.
So this 9 ball for Szolnoki. And it's there, that is rack 1 to Hungary.
Hungary wins the first rack.
And we're welcoming viewers.
I was very
Welcoming
impressed
viewers
with.
to
I'm sorry.
main event. Just seen Team USA. A very convincing win. Now it's Hungary versus Czech Republic. Foldis on the left. He's been around a long time. Szolnoki, kind of the new kid on the block. He's not happy with his microphone pack. Yeah, this was a tidy shot. Just to control the cue ball. The simple 8 ball.
Okay. Thank you, rack 2. Hungary to break, leading 1 rack to 0.
Made a ball. No open shot at this one.
Man, those 1 balls just won't go down in the side today.
Yeah, now the one off the 9 in the lower left is possible, but I think he should overcut the 1 and run safe behind the 3.
Can he see the potting angle? No, he couldn't. Tried to send the 1 up the table, but he double hit the cue ball.
You get a little lucky here. But I bet you Hungary is going to go for a jump shot. I've seen both them jump and they can really cut the paint off.
Extension, please.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he can see the left side of the yellow 1 ball. I believe he does have the jump cue in his hand, so he's trying to pop this in the top left. Cue ball is going to slide to the right somewhat if he does pop this, so he's going to need a little bit of fortune as well. But he probably feels like this is just a guaranteed hit. Now, where did he finish?
position many balls there, and pretty difficult little 1 ball off angle. He can simply just come out and take a long 2 ball, but he's got to get over for the 3. So I was wondering he may just play safe here on the 1. Nice bump on the 3.
Can he get there just after the middle, or does he have to go above with spin? This is going to spin now. He may have to hit this hard.
I was going to say with speed, Carl, I think he gets there, but and he's going to love it overall.
Now, if you're trying to kick at something hard on a slick table, does the slick cloth make a difference on your kick?
Yeah, it's huge. It's one of the toughest parts, really. It's predicting the bend of the ball on the slick table. Going down here. I was going to say, I don't know where he's going with the cue ball with a downward stroke there.
Yeah, actually double hit the ball again. So that's twice we've seen that from Roman Heibler.
I wonder if he was playing that double hit on that one. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, kind of drawing the ball there. But
trying to get the cue ball in behind the 6, but this isn't going to work. I'm not saying he's left anything easy, but he was trying to get the hook.
And I think Urban puts him back behind the 3 here, just kind of banking the 1 away off the top cushion. Don't see any sense at going after this.
Yeah, they're kind of sliding all over the place on this slick table. I guess it's a little bit slidier than the practice tables upstairs.
The 1's roaming towards the 9. He can see this 1 ball.
Yeah, this is often the problem in 9 ball. You can see the potting angle here, but
He's going after the 9, Carl.
yeah, you can see he's just not happy with the angle of putting this. So it looks like he's chasing the 9. Cue ball's going to be close to the scratch.
Pass go. Paulie.
It's in the drink. Man, this is a little bit of a less tidy game than we're used to seeing. Sort of feels like people are swinging a little more recklessly.
Now, is he going to attack the table or is he going to lock him up? Obviously, we play a 3-foul rule. That is consecutive fouls, by the way. So they're on 1.
Yeah, interesting enough, a possible combination if they get ball in hand. I don't think he covered the cue ball up enough, though. Even if it's a subtle swerve, maybe.
Yeah, that is schoolboy error. If you get the cue ball tight on that purple, this shot is so much harder. It really is.
Yeah, he could have really squeezed him up behind the 3 and the 4, actually, but. Is the 9 going to get moved a little? It is. So on 2 fouls now.
A little bit fortunate there, JJ. What looked like it was going to be a nice, easy-ish combo. It's just changed the rack a little bit.
Yeah, now with the 1 out in space, the 3rd foul is really a lot harder to attain as well. So.
Now, do you think the Czech Republic was trying to dress up that combo, or was that just a lucky roll on the 1?
No, I think Heibler definitely had the 1-9 in mind if they happened to get ball in hand. Now they're looking at the 3 foul, I think, again. And
I gotta tell you, Vilmos Foldes is no stranger to the 3 foul rule.
That's a long ways to make the cue ball travel, especially because the jump cue. That's the thing. You're really looking to take the jump cue away when you're putting them on 2 fouls.
This is something we don't see often on our TV screens at the Matchroom pool event, 3 fouls, but if Hungary don't make illegal contact here, they will lose the rack.
I'm surprised he didn't go to the jump cue here. Very surprised. Wow.
Ball stroke.
It's been a while since we've seen
And
that,
the rack.
folks. Loss of rack, 3 fouls.
Shocking. That is honestly shocking. 3 fouls.
Yeah, and I don't know, you know, I don't like to butt in too much when I'm playing doubles in a hairy situation, you know, but right there I may have had to suggest the jump cue right there. I mean, the table kick's tough. The slick table's hard to judge.
Yeah, it all looked a little quick, didn't it, JJ? Just seemed to get down. And these are the 3 fouls.
Well, even though Hungary may be the only one not agreeing, I think we're all glad that rack number 2 is over with, right?
Yeah, it was a little sloppy, wasn't it?
Well, it's just a battle back and forth to get a clean shot. They had a few offensive shots, but here's the 3rd foul.
I'm with you, JJ. Surely that was the jump shot, especially when you're on 2 fouls, right?
Absolutely. It's one thing if the one's near the rail a little bit, you know, the kick's like, you know, you don't want to bet your life on it, but you'll bet maybe a digit or 2, but something like that. But
Czech Republic to break.
Was he just a little close
with
to the
2
balls?
fouls, I would have had to jump it myself. Well, hard to pass on this jump, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think this is pretty straight. I think you've got to be tempted for this one, surely. So we lost the cue ball again a little bit on the break, trying to get it near the centre of the table. Adrenaline might play a part here. He's got to keep the balls on the table. Well, his bridge hand looked a little bit weird there for me.
Yeah, cueing directly off the thumb. I don't think I've ever seen that before, Carl.
Yeah, that's what I sort of looked at. That's something that your average pool player might do.
I think I wouldn't have even gotten the ball airborne. Would have gone right into the 9.
Yeah, he was cueing off kind of the middle of his thumb, which was very interesting.
Could we see another 3 foul?
Probably not the entire week, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the balls are sat pretty nice, so only usually happens when the balls are a little bit clustered and can't really see a finish. Now, if he hits this 2-ball full, it's going to crash into, you would think, the brown 7 and the purple 5, so things can happen.
Extension ball.
Yeah, all kinds of positive things here. Like Carl said, if he hits it full, he may fluke a ball in. Catches the bottom side, the 2 and the 3 should separate. Oh, there you have it.
2 very near flukes, but he got 3rd prize. He's got a pretty hampered 2-ball shot there.
Now, you can see the left edge of this, sorry, as we look at the screen. Got to be careful his cue doesn't hit the brown 7. It's awful close. How many times do we see it where you hit it too thick? He's got a little bit of cover off the 9 though, so he's not left the pot.
Yeah, I'd be ecstatic with that result from where he was. And he was conscious of that brown 7, Carl. Watch the short queuing through impact. Wanted to make sure he got up off the ball quickly.
This is a chance now. Szolnoki has got a shot in the top left. Position is pretty much guaranteed. It's been a little bit scrappy in the opening 3 racks.
Yeah, and exactly what needed said after a lot of safety play in the last rack. A tough shot to come with.
All 4 players seem to be struggling. The balls have not come out too kind, it's fair to say. It's been a little awkward so far.
And he's going after the 9 here. Good chance it costs him rack number 3.
And you got to imagine what the mood is amongst the teams. I mean, it's not as though one team is dominating. Everybody's sort of having a struggle right now.
Yeah, and it's just been one of them sort of matches where when a player makes a mistake, nothing's kind of getting set up very easy, isn't it? So everyone's getting faced with tough little tricky shots. Where now obviously the balls are sat pretty good. Looks like he can kill the cue ball here, so it's no real drama.
Yeah, he's just going to have to work the ball a little more from the 5 to the 6 because he couldn't really gain much angle on the pink 4.
Needs to be a little careful here. Well, he's done well getting that far up table.
Yeah, that's a nice shot. He really forgot about the 3 foul and just struck it all the way through the ball and gave him a lot of good position on that purple 5.
Kind of squeezed the pink 4 home and certainly made something that could be tricky relatively easy now. He needs to chop this a bit. Yeah, I was wondering about this. Big unforced error here from Szolnoki. Now, can he shave the 6 enough to use the 9 with a lot of right English going up table?
That's what it looks like he's looking at.
Yeah, it's not too hard of a shot. It's just all speed control. Little heavy, but not too bad.
The interesting thing is in doubles, when you make a bad shot, you're not the one who suffers from it. Your partner has to come to the table and clean up your mess. What do you do to regain your guys' confidence once a bad shot is made?
Well, I mean, it's going to happen to everyone. I mean, it's one thing if you're thinking alike. It's not so much if you swing the cue and have an error. It's just a matter where frustration comes in is if you're swinging the cue at something that's a poor percentage that, you know, your partner didn't like so much or maybe informed you he didn't like. And we've seen it in the past where things kind of build up in that regard. You know, somebody has a bad day, they just have a bad day swinging the cue. But when your brain leaves you a little bit, that's when a little frustration, I think, can set in.
This pocket lends itself to a bigger pocket, so Szolnoki's got to fancy this one. And just play it into the rail. The pocket will swallow it up. If he's landed straight, could be a little interesting.
Well, Foldis has always had a pretty powerful stroke, so drawing the cue ball shouldn't be too much of an issue.
One thing I love to see on these really slick tables is just a ton of draw, so it'll be nice if we get it here.
He's going forward, so smart shot, keep it simple.
So the 9 finally disappears. It's not been the pretty of starts, but it's Hungary 2, Czech Republic 1. Welcome back to this year's World Cup of Pool. We're at the Brentwood Centre in Essex. USA started off tonight's action with a convincing win over Canada in the end.
Hungary to break, leading 2 racks to 1.
Now it's Hungary versus Czech Republic. It's been a scrappy start in the opening 3 racks, but it's 2-1 to Hungary. Vilmos to break. Good break though. And that's the difference. When you go a little harder and you hit them good, the balls seem to split a little easier.
Yeah, nice cue ball there. One of the best ones we've seen today on the break, and the one agreeing. A little kiss shot on the 6, I think. Only problem is the 3's kind of keeping him out of position and maybe hold position on the 1 after making the 6. We'll see. Is he looking at the combo? The combo looks awfully thin to me. It's got to be the kiss shot, I would think.
Yeah, to play the billiard there, didn't he? He was begging, but it's not the best 1 ball he's ever played.
Yeah, but I think he went through the 1 on purpose, trying to get the 1 up for the side, because if he clips the 1, it's going to lay on the 3 and really not offer a shot. So this is touchy. Can he come back behind the 3 with
Extension,
just
please.
right English here, Carl? Coming off the thick side of the right side of the 1?
Yeah, maybe he can.
With a heavy right spin? Without having to elevate the cue, maybe?
Yeah, maybe he could sort of get the 1 over towards the pink 4 as well.
And after a break like that, you really deserve a
I'll tell
better
you
shot
what,
on the 1.
watching Sholnoki, I would definitely listen to him quite often. I don't know if this is going to work, though.
Yeah, the safety side of 9-ball is often overlooked. He's lost the cue ball here. All 4 players just seem to be struggling in this match.
Yeah, you have to figure out a way to calm yourself in mid-match, and it's not always the easiest thing to do, especially the biggest moments. Not a hard 2-ball here, though.
Kind of a little unusual as well, where all 4 players are struggling. You think someone's going to pick up the play and be a leader.
Like you said in the last rack, though, the balls haven't agreed so far, you know. When there's been some offensive shots, position pretty low percentage, so got to figure a team to get going here soon.
You know, last track we saw Hungary kind of get their groove back at the end. Now the Czech Republic. This could be anyone's match.
Yeah, both
Czech
opening.
Republic wins the rack.
All the matches so far that we've seen have been one-sided. This has just got the feeling that's going to go to the death.
Přesně to jsme potřebovali. Třeba jak tam jsme jenom chtěli to postavit, ale je to
Yeah, it's a simple 9-ball in the end. There was another rack riddled with mistakes, wasn't it? It was Hungary. He played the poor safety. I feel like there's been a lot of mistakes in this match.
Yeah, you know, even a tiny little mistake early on in the rack, you start to get out of position, and the whole thing just falls apart. And it's not obvious when you're watching it. A lot of the shots seem, oh, he should be able to make that, he should be able to make that. But the pockets squeeze up, you miss a couple balls in an earlier rack, and your confidence just starts to drain away. This game starts to get really hard really fast.
You know, we've had no break and runs, we've had 6 missed pots, and we've had 3 safety errors, so that's been the story of the match. Hungary with the 3 fouls there. That was the rack where we don't really see a lot in professional
Rack 5.
9-ball pool, do we?
Czech
But
Republic to break.
it did
2
happen.
racks each.
Urban to break in game number 5.
That was a little better, wasn't it?
No, that was all right there. Even without the results, I mean, could have used a little more flush contact on the 1, but I like the timing of the swing. I think that's why he got such a good spread.
It goes without saying, these are the chances The pool player, he's desperate to get all the balls in the open. It's just a case of controlling the cue ball, which he has lost a little bit. I mean, he can still do something here, you feel, but I want it to be further down the table. Maybe have to play this 2 rails below the 3 to come back out.
Yeah, a mild bump on the 3 I don't think is going to hurt you either. I mean, don't go crazy trying to avoid the 3. You have a big pocket up the table. Yeah, I mean, that's about the worst it could fall, really, on the 50-yard line. The 4 near the pocket, right? So.
Yeah, whenever you're bumping into a ball, you're just not quite sure where it's going to finish up, are you? And he's got to try and pot this and get on that pink 4 ball, which is over the top left. He's forgot about the cue ball, hasn't he? He's potted the 3. Well, he's lost the cue ball.
I think he was maybe thinking he was going to bump the 6 here. You know, try and slow the cue ball down, bumping the 6, and it just got past the 6 there. So pretty good make, though. And he's looking at the kick shot. Wow. Now, the kick shot's one thing if you're holding position for the 6, but you still have to get from the 5 to the 6 after. So I don't know about this play. May work out, though.
It has worked out, but this is kind of what we were saying, isn't it? It was a poor mistake. Decides to go wild on a kick shot. Does hit the pink 4, but just look where it finishes off the double kiss there. And now Hungary. This is not easy.
Now, I know it's easy to get a little loose when you were the one who misplaced position on the previous shot, but it's interesting to see that they're kind of getting a little reckless as a continuation of their partner's shot, like they're trying to get the whole team back into line.
And definitely talked a little bit before that kick shot, so Heibler gave him the okay there. A little surprising to me.
Needs to slow down a little. Just everything's going wrong at the moment. The safeties are going wrong. We've had missed bowls, bad shot choices.
I guess it's important to remember that these 4 people are unbelievably good at pool. Like, if you're watching this and you think maybe you could take one of these guys, the answer is no. These guys rule. The conditions they're playing on are just really, really tough right now.
Yeah, it didn't hit that one pure, but it did go down.
The biggest thing that we're seeing is it's not so much the conditions as in the table and the balls. I think it's just the fact that it's the one table setup in the middle of the pit with the TV cameras.
And all of your opponents are watching you. That's got to get to you real fast.
Well, it's just unfamiliar territory for some of these guys, and it's just imagine being sat out on a little plank out in the middle of the Atlantic somewhere. You'd get nervous pretty quick, right? So it's kind of the same for some of these guys here early. Now, if they can get by a match or two, things could change quickly.
Yeah, because a large portion of some of these players that are in this event, they might have had a little bit of success on the Euro Tour and then type of tournaments, but when there's multi-tables going on and no one's really watching you, you just don't feel the same pressure, do you? But all eyes are on. This is a big deal. It's lights, camera, action. Oh.
Tragedy strikes for Roman.
Didn't see that one coming, but I suppose the way the match has gone, I'm not shocked. It's going to be a bank up into the top left. You're seeing a little bit of body movement there with the bridge hand.
Yeah, a little bit of a flare with the backhand is the concern for me, but I put Zolnoki as a favorite here.
Oh, that looks good. Oh, baby. Rains a bank shot.
I think Shane will
Hungary
he'll
to
say
break.
I need to go back and
Leading
work
three
on the
racks.
break, and you know he fine tunes it like no others, so he's probably correct in that manner. But I really liked their pace of play. Really liked when they did have communication is very decisive. So I mean I think they're in a good place. They're just going to have to wait for their opportunity in the next match. And here's that roadmap I was talking about.
This is why I'm a big fan of the winner breaks, because Hibbler's missed the 9.
Punishment.
They bank the 9, and then they get rewarded with the break, as well in alternate breaks. Sometimes it could have been the Czech
Wow.
Republic's break, and you can forget about your mistake. But talking of mistakes, the nightmare continues for Folders.
Yeah, that was a chip in there. I mean, that was a pretty easy shot, and only thing I could maybe say is not understanding that the ball's cut a little easier out on the slick conditions.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of balls hit 2 and 3 points of that side pocket. Something about the way it's cut, those balls just aren't falling if they're hit with any kind of speed at all.
Yeah, nice draw stroke there from Heibler. So good for him to get back to the table quickly after that missed 9. And this is a funny shot here. 4 does go by the 6, it looks like, to the lower left. I wouldn't try to work this ball much. He just never had the cueing correct.
But again, JJ Rowley, look, he's missed the ball, and look where it's finished. It's gone so awkward.
Yeah, but besides it being frozen, that makes it very awkward. But I think Zolnoki here should handle this, getting the 2 up the rail a little bit. It's kind of sliding the cue ball behind the 6 and the 9. Just a hair right spin. Well, he hit that with a lot more pace than I thought, but he's hit it perfectly. Well, at least I thought it was perfect, Carl.
Yeah, often you play these type of shots, and it's not easy to get the hook, is it? So he has played a good shot. It's just unfortunate if there's a little window in between the green 6 and the 9 ball.
Looks like he's got him. Oh no, my goodness.
I just gonna need some help from the 8. He got a little bit of it. Now Foldis, who's I've always thought was a really good shot maker, so that one that he missed a moment ago, maybe just a lack of focus, but I think he wants to redeem himself for the 2 in the corner. Big shot.
It looks okay. It's a good pot.
Yeah, they're just going to have to work a little more between the through the rack. Not going to be able to get premium on the 5 here in a moment, but should be okay. Now, this is the perfect angle to add a tip or two, a right spin, and just come one rail by the 8, if you understand the table. He didn't really add much spin. He barely was off the center of the cue ball, and you have to understand, look how much room is to the right of the 8 there.
Yeah, I don't know if he was going to be on the 6 ball, but at the last second, the cue ball just turned a little bit and sat on the 8.
Extension. Extension, please.
That is exactly how this match has been going. A couple of good shots, and then one turn too many, and they're hooked. They got to kick at it from a bunch of rails. They sell out or get behind a ball. It's tough. Just when you think they're going to go on a roll.
Yeah, we're playing with a 30-second shot clock. 1 extension per rack. That just frees up a little bit more time. That's when the balls land a little funky, like they did. And again, as it landed a little bit awkward, maybe you can chop it in the side, but cue ball, you have to do something. Main thing there for Szolnoki is he made contact.
I think it definitely plays in the side, and the 8's somewhat open. The key here is the 9's pretty playable as well, so you can really focus on just pocketing the 6. He's going the corner. I thought for sure he could back cut this in the side with some draw.
Kind of funny though, isn't it, when you've made a few mistakes? Your mind starts to wander and play tricks. He's scared of the scratch. He decided to go for the corner yet again.
Oh,
look where
my
the
gosh.
6 has finished.
I think secretly all these guys are just playing purposeful defensive shots, and they are nailing it. They are just, it is just back-to-back snookers here.
Well, I really don't think the cueing was that bad. I think that's a little experience for Urban, not knowing, again, the balls do cut a little easier out there. You can hit them just a shade thicker. Oh, look at this soft kick. Wow. Pretty nifty.
Now, do they have an extension left?
The way he acted, I don't believe so.
Extension.
Na mama.
He's got to like the bank shot here though, you feel, into the right centre. He hasn't got long left to play it. Oh, surely he's not fluked it in the top left. He hasn't. Now he has got the hook, but one rail, you've got to fancy making this off the left long rail. 6 is off. There's a bit of a distance there, so he's got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, he's got to be at least 8 out of 10 to make this rail first shot, though.
You know, something tells me that there's going to be a slide or something's going to go a little funny, and it's just not going to quite go in. Well, I was punishingly wrong. Here we go.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's gained a nickname yet, but I've been calling him the Mad Genius since I've met him and watched him play. And pretty sharp young player right there. Doesn't miss the boat too often.
Yeah, and he did a little measurement of the balls right before he took that shot, and it went right into the center of that pocket. So obviously he's got some calculating ability.
It's been a battle, it's been a grind for all 4 players. Very unusual. Usually one player stands out, but it's Hungary there. Szolnoki with a beautiful kick shot, opening up a 2-rack lead. Hungary 4, Czech Republic 2. pool tournaments on our calendar. The World Cup of Pool.
Thank you, rack 7.
Scotch doubles event. So that's a little bit
Hungry to break,
unique.
leading 4 racks to 2.
Usually we play lots of singles events, but this just adds a little bit of a different pressure for these types of players, and we've seen it in this match. It's 4-2 to Hungary. Cue ball's close. Oh,
Foul
disaster
stroke.
strikes. It was a bit unfortunate, it has to be said.
Start the clock, please.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Don't think they were going to get a shot at the 2. It was going to be a rollout situation, but nevertheless, better than ball in hand for their opponent.
I gotta say, there were some lucky rolls in the previous couple of matches, but this match is all unlucky for all these guys.
Okay, perfect position here. Needs to just come down the table and gain a little angle on the pink 4.
I'd like to see both of these guys maybe just pick up the pace of play a little bit. Don't need to talk too much. We've seen that example from Shane and Skylar. They didn't really talk when all the balls were open. They both appreciate what both guys can do.
Yeah,
Get down and play your shot, right?
I think you hit the nail on the head there, and they didn't gain any of that angle I was talking about, and very straight on the 4. And can they get good on the 5-6 combo? Or is that touchy?
Extension call.
He's looking to draw back to leave an awfully thin cut for his partner. Oh, maybe no cut at all. Better say something to it.
Foul stroke.
Come on. So unlucky. All these rolls. Just one extra turn of the ball and they're in the drink.
Start the clock, please.
Like you said, JJ, all caused by not leaving the correct angle on the pink 4.
Yeah, you know, it was always going to be a tough shot on the 5, but Urban would like to have had a stab at it. And if you notice the first 2 games, Heidler had a big problem overdrawing the cue ball in each of those 2 games, and it cost him here in game number 7 as well. And even more so, it's going to cost a 3-game deficit.
What do you do when nothing's going right? Do you stop down and play a little more conservatively, or do you just try to let your stroke out and give it your confidence back?
Well, I mean, you know, you'd like to say there's just one set formula, but it's hard for me to say there is. And the problem here is everything's so magnified. You know, 1 and you're done. It's a race to 7. The tensions are high. So you may need a backup plan to kind of calm yourself down in a sense. But, you know, especially doubles as well. You don't get as much rhythm. You know, you're wanting to do your best for your partner. I think what Carl said earlier, maybe minimize the discussion a little bit and just get on and do what you've been doing the last 30 years of your life or 20 years of your life, whatever it may be. It hadn't been this long for this guy, but what a player at such a young age.
Hungary wins the rack.
So with a little bit of help from the Czech Republic, Hungary win another rack. This is how I kind of seen this match going. Fancied Hungary to do pretty good in this event. I think the fact that they've not played
Say Foldus
Hungry to
probably
break,
doesn't
leading
play as
5
much
racks to
pool as he
2.
used to. Still plays a lot, probably very prepared for this tournament. I know this young man's very prepared. He stays prepared. So I think, you know, if they get by this win, they can kind of laugh it off knowing this isn't the norm. This isn't the norm for the Czech Republic either, right? This isn't what we normally see. So, you know, probably a bit of humor involved more than worry, I would say. Now, if there's something in particular, you know, if Heibler happens to get through this match somehow, he can go back and say, hey, I need to get the speed on this draw down on this table. That's going to come up again, just like Shane needs to maybe work on the cue ball for his break a little bit going forward in this event. Overcut the 1, zigzag the cue ball behind the 9. Yeah, kind of like that. He just hit it a little thick and a little kind of a pushy stroke, you might say.
Start the cock, please.
Watch the ball hook after it hits the rail here. That's where the problem, when you don't get through the ball correctly, it kind of will change lines on you a little bit.
Yeah, that's just another example of inexperience on this TV table. It really is.
Yeah, really, maybe the shot was just to come across and use the 7 and 2 rather than trying to go 2 rails behind the 9. Talk about it a lot with American players. On this table, it's not a lot of what you want to do, it's what's needed. That's really a big component to playing well. But now, second ball in hand is in as many games for the Czech Republic. They need to get something going.
You'd like to think they're going to clear the table this time. If not, could be a shake of hands early on.
Very unique cueing action from Irvin. Looks like a very smooth, and then all of a sudden at the end, pretty short and quick.
It's good to see him using a little bit of speed on these shots, not just trying to baby it in, but building that confidence on the stroke.
Yeah, 5 threes right there after 8 games, and they will have the break in game number 9.
Czech Republic win the rack.
It's 5-3. They're still in this match, aren't they, guys? You know, obviously it's been a poor start to the match, but at the end of the day, they are still in this match. It's only 5-3. We're in a bit of a dogfight now. They can just kind of get a W in this match. Maybe watch the match back, get to the practice table, and just try and figure something out.
You gotta wonder if Vilmos feels a little bit cursed here. It seems like every time he comes to the table, it's an obstructed shot, nothing's clean, and he somehow finds a way to get into a pocket with a cue ball. It's gotta feel very frustrating for him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, probably see a bit more of it if the scoreline was a little different. But now at 5-3, he's going to try and stay positive. And what we've seen from all the teams here in day one, even the ones that didn't come away with the W's throughout the match, they tried to wait for their opportunity and stay positive as they can, hoping something gets going on their side.
Nem marad állásunk, az egy darab állás, ami maradt egyszer, az de nem 2.
Quarterfinals is their best appearance all the way back in 2013.
Czech Republic to break, trailing by 5 racks to 3.
Can they go a few rounds better this year. Well, the leading 5 racks to 3. Roman Heibler to break. Got to try and get this break working a little bit better. Wants more of a fuller contact, a little bit more power.
They have fluked the 8, though.
Apologies at home for a moment, just having a few technical issues. I'll be back shortly. Sholnocky, is he sizing up a bank?
I think a safety. He's got to be aware of that upper right corner with the cue ball. This ball will want to lengthen on him a little bit. Oh, he's hit it sweet. That was a lot of control right there from a pretty difficult lay on the 1. With the 8 hanging, that wasn't easy to protect.
Hitting the 1 ball is obviously very easy, but it's getting it safe. And after contact, you must hit a rail unless you pocket the ball. So he's got to think about that as well. Extension called.
You figure him to shoot at this.
Now with this one,
natural position on the 2-8. Excuse me, Raleigh.
oh, I'm sorry. Do you ever try to just draw back and get the 8 in, or do you think this is the 1 ball?
No, just the 1 up in the corner.
Wants the cue ball off the rail a little, so that just shows you Vilmos is feeling it a little bit because he's put so much emphasis on potting the ball, he's forgot about this cue ball.
He's got a smart guy behind him here, though. Play it nice and easy. Probably like the draw stroke here. Hard to control the speed coming off of 1 rail at this flat angle like this. May draw past the 5 myself. Cheating the pocket on the 2. Sorry, Phil.
Yeah, again, apologies if you're not hearing the clatter of the pool balls. Our sound team are working fast. We'll be back shortly. Luckily, you can hear our lovely voices. Big draw shot from Vilmos. Needs to slow down. Wrong angle. He's going to cause problems. Maybe he can just roll this cue ball through a little bit.
It's great to see those full diagonal draw shots, but when you got to land it in, you know, a 6-inch area, sometimes you just get a little tight. Oh, he's fine. If you'd like, I can do a little Foley. I can make the clicking sounds in the booth, and it'll be just like the real thing.
Called for an extension because he knows this is a big shot. It's a thin one. It's all about the cue ball. 4 balls away from getting on the hill. There you see, 20 seconds left. Needs to avoid the 9 ball. Just look at this again. Anywhere. Don't go near the 9. What an opportunity this was for Hungary to get on the hill.
And again, not understanding the table, didn't put any side spin on that ball at all. He didn't need much, but just a hair of left English, he stays away from the 9. Wouldn't doubt that Zolnoki buries this, though.
Another rack, another mistake. What a chance for Hungary. Is that mistake going to come back to haunt them?
Just snuck it in there. And it looks like Hungary's going to put another point on the board. 5-4 looks a lot better than 6-3. Sorry, that's Czech. Put a point on the board.
Well, that was a little wide, wasn't it?
Yeah, a day or two, that ball doesn't fall when the table breaks in just a little bit more.
That's a nice setup shot by Roman.
Oh, Team Czech Republic, they're still in this match somehow. I'm not sure how. I'm sure you guys at home are not sure how as well, but they pulled it back. They trail 5 racks to 4. We'll be back after the break.
Thank you. Right 10. Czech Republic to break. Trailing by 5 right to 4.
That's right. The referee has said it right. It is 5-4. Somehow Hungary have let the Czech Republic back in this match. We felt it was going to be a bit of a dogfight. I personally thought Hungary was going to win pretty easy. But they have just not performed. Cue ball's close to the side. Random ball stops it going in. Can they pocket the one ball? They can, maybe in both pockets. They've got to dig deep now because there's an opportunity there to steal this match right at the end. This is a tricky pot. Oh, it's right in the heart of the pocket. Where's the cue ball? Is he going to stay on the 2? What's the pace like? Maybe it's overrun a little bit, JJ.
I think he's okay. He's going to stay offensive, whether it's a bank. I don't think he can play the cut, but I think I go here, Carl. I think I go for the cross corner bank. Great opener by Habler, though. Oh, just barely missing the 2.
That is unfortunate for Urban. It looked like it was going in the whole time, but it just hung up. A little bit of a too thin of a bank. Or thick.
And that's just a little, you know, again, knowing the table a little bit, knowing you can play the bank a little bit to the bottom rail and let it slide in the pocket.
Extension, please.
This is difficult, though. Very hard to follow the cue ball from a full angle all the way back up table. So you can see he's not even going to try that. Lovely shot.
Wow, that's a pretty shot. Look at that. Full table, full draw, all the way back to within 6 inches of the 3. Solnaki really, really showing why he's going to be one of the next big players.
That ball kicked a bit, like a skid, as we say in America. Watch it kind of turn sideways, go towards the bottom rail. Yeah, you see that.
It's amazing, isn't it, JJ? You know, you've been around the pool world a long time, and you know, the 4-inch pocket is very unforgiving, but the fact that the balls are brand new and the cloth's brand new, you still see a few of them slide in because he's actually missed that ball.
Yeah, the ball's coming from the center of the table. Those are the ones, the 4-inch pockets, really exposed when not hit too well. And like I said, another day or two, I think that 5 ball hangs up and we see a team like the Czech Republic back at the table. But all speed here, speed control, a little bit on the line of the cue ball. That shouldn't be too difficult, but it's all about the speed. Should drop the cue ball just about on the middle diamond on the right side of the table. Oh, that looked firm to me. He's playing at 2 rails.
I think that's a job well done, JJ, isn't it?
Yeah, and those guys at the table see those little things. Hey, let me minimize it with side spin. Use the bottom rail. Big shot here for Foldis. No, it looks like a cupcake, but
Finally, Hungary are going to get themselves on the hill. They've gifted the last 2 racks away, but not this one. Szolnoki knows, you could see it in his face. Finally, we're on the hill.
Just the happiest team to get on the hill. They must be so relieved. Now just one more rack, one break and run, and you're out.
Všecko v pohodě. Má všechno v obrácení u toho mýho věčka. Ta dvojka, kdyby byla kdekoliv jinde a ještě i bílá se mohla.
So here's the updated draw. Yukioi, of course, representing Japan. Vilmos Foldes breaking on the hill for Hungary. Now they've made a ball. Where's the 3 going? Is that going to spoil play? It isn't. It's going to be a chance. But where's the 3 gone? I think it pots in the bottom right.
Yeah, I think they're okay. They have a natural way to get on the 2, shooting an easy 1 ball. Just going to have to accept a little more of a shot on the 3, but looks like natural position from the side pocket at the top of your screen right now. So keep it simple. Oh, I thought he could get more out of it than that. That's going to now put again, if Foldes understands just a little side spin here, he can come 1 rail right into position, but he hasn't put much side spin in these positions. Maybe a little bit more used to the home club table.
Sure, but he must have been picking up on some of the experience from this game, just consistently going a little bit long and going right behind a ball he doesn't want to be behind.
Oh, he doesn't have any left English on this. Yeah, that's not going to come back the way you want it. You have to have more spin on the ball. And I'm wondering that, you know, Szolnoki is so aware of everything that maybe he hasn't picked up on that either from his partner. I would certainly pick up on it myself, I think.
Yeah, I think what's happening in this match is they're so used to playing individual tournaments, but because it is alternate shot doubles, you kind of you can't really relax out there. So unless you know your partner really well, it's kind of hard to pick up a vibe, right? Well, that was a good shot there from Szolnoki.
That was a great shot, actually. And Foldes, who did reside in America, I'm not so sure now, but for many years he did. So probably doesn't get to hang out with Szolnoki too often.
Lost the cue ball again, so Foldes is really struggling with the slick, slippery table.
But another shot that just required a little more side spin is all.
Maybe Vilmos will watch this match back and hear your advice, Jeremy, and then correct for next time.
Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, you want to stay away from some side spin at times because of deflection, but when you're easing the ball in, it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Nothing crazy here, just make the ball. Maybe you can just play a little stun run through. He's dragged it in. That's fine, any angle.
Yeah, pocketing the ball really hasn't been much of an issue. It's just been a little bit of cue ball.
You know, I bet Vilmos will learn more from this one game than if they had just whitewashed him 7-0.
Well, somehow Hungary have got over the line. You can see the sheer delight and the disgust than their opponents, Czech Republic. Well, there's no pictures, just a W. That is all that matters. Hungary are through to the next round.